Don't confuse what you don't like to do with what you don't need to do. Don't confuse what you don't like to do with what you don't need to do. There are a lot of things I know that you don't want to do. There are a lot of things that I don't want to do. But don't confuse that with what you don't. I do not like to set up. I do not know how to set up with the sound good. Chris helping me out. I don't know how to set up this stuff. I just wait, get prepared mentally. Chris help me to mic up, I go. But it's what needs to be done. It's what needs to be done.
The king of high ticket sales. World's highest paid consultant. Media celebrity. Multi-millionaire entrepreneur. Acclaimed TEDx speaker. International best-selling author. Dan Lok.
So the solution to most business problems are systems and training solutions. Most of the time, it's a system solutions. Better training, better system, that will solve most business problems. Most business problems. Not all, but most business problems. So let's recap. What have you learned today? Nothing?
Systemization.
Shit. No, what have you learned today? Procedures, manuals, yes?
Systemization.
Systemization, yes. Be more specific, yes.
Work on your business, not
Work on your business, not in your business, very good, yes.
Become more specific with your purpose and what you want in your business.
Okay, become more purpose, on target, on purpose business. Yes, very good, yes. Yeah, build a business it's apart from you, not a part of you. Very good. Give me a couple more.
Do a doofus test.
Do a doofus test for employees. I love, but okay. Here's a tip. Don't call it a doofus test. Like someone apply for the job, I'm gonna give you a doofus test. They'll be like, what? No, I got that from Dan Lok. I'm gonna do it. And don't do that, okay? But just say, I want you to do this. Give me one more. Give me one more.
3 types of systems.
Yeah, 3 types of system. Hard systems, soft system, and information systems. Again, you don't have to have all those things overnight. But it's good to start with one little piece at a time. One little piece at a time. One little piece at a time. And you see it creates predictable results. And then once it creates predictable results, you can take your mind off it and you can work on high income producing activities. Your highest and best gift. And you can now delegate those. Yes?
Yeah. I'm going to go up to the mic.
Sure.
So my name's Lee. I have my own startup business. And after reading Michael Gerber's book,
Yes.
what I did is I took every single activity in my business and basically mapped it out.
Very nice.
And that way you can see, okay, you can assign responsibilities to everything. And you can also start to look at what things you can maybe outsource or automate.
Yes. Yeah. And don't keep that in your head.
Yeah.
If you actually lay it all out, whatever is in your head right now, how many sometimes can see, like, with the amount of task that needs to be done in your business, sometimes, be honest, it feels overwhelming. Yeah, so when it's overwhelming in your head, you don't take any action. But when you put everything out on the table, I guarantee you, here's what you're gonna find. It's not as bad as I thought. Because in your mind, you think, I got a million things to do. A million? 100,000 things to do. 100,000 things to do? 10,000 things to do. 10,000 things to do. And then you narrow it down. Actually, I only do 20 things. I only do 15 things. Don't bullshit me, right? Let's look at that 15 things. And you break it down into smaller tasks. Well, let's see what we can out. And sometimes you'll be shocked. It could be, why am I doing this task that I just hate? When maybe there's a software that can help you easily do that. Maybe not a person, a software. Well, let's do that. One thing off my plate. And when you're creating momentum, when you think you have 20 things and you get to 19, 18, 14, 15, 13, you will get that sense of control and say, you know what? Now I'm running my business because I know what's going on. My business doesn't run me. And that's my aspiration for you. When you can get to that point and say, you know, I run my business. I know what's going on. I've got systems in place. And you will look at every other business owner, they're like, these guys have no clue what they're doing. They're driving. Here's what they're doing. Most people, they run their business, they're driving with no driver license because they have no training. But I'm going to drive because I hate my fucking boss. I'm going to start my own business, right? They're driving blindfolded like that, hand tape in the wheel because they're singing the life saving, starting a fucking business, right? So now I'm with the car. and with a knife in the front, and hopefully I don't crash. Paint that picture in your mind. That's how most people run their business. Really? No training? Don't need training. I'll just start my own thing. I'll mortgage my house. Really? Really? Nah, don't need training. Okay? And how do you know it's going to work? It's going to work. That's the knife. Right? It's going to work. Not going to kill me.
You read The Secret.
Yeah, I read The Secret 5 times. I read The Secret 5 times, right? Round of applause. It's not about, and there's a place for positive thinking and being positive and having that positive attitude. What I'm saying is, it's not enough, and I always like to use a lot of martial art metaphor and sports metaphor. Just imagine, I say to you, I want to go to the Olympic. I'm not going to get to the Olympic by just visualizing. I'm a great swimmer. The energy comes to me, I'm a great swimmer. And then I go compete, I'm going to win. And it's no different than someone says, I'm going to take a 2-day workshop, a training. You get skills from it. But it's like saying, I'm going to take a class in swimming, then I'm going to win championship. It makes no fucking sense. And if it doesn't make sense in the sports world, why do you think it makes sense in the business world? If you have this mentality, you won't. That's why I say most people, they much prefer to buy that half-truth and misinformation. It's easier to accept that I take that course, I sign up for that 3-day thing, and I do this, and I buy that software. My business would be fine. And they get disappointed every time. And I'm saddened because they get disappointed and they give up and they buy the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Versus just look at the truth at who do I need to be to get what I want? That's a good question. Who do I need to be to get what I want? Who do I need to be to win that championship? Who do I need to be to win in business? Then when you can do that, business works. And that's why once you know you have the skills, you can make one business work, it's totally transferable to make another business work, it's totally transferable to make the third business work. And that's why people say to me, hey, Dan, everything now, they see who I am today, and they say, Dan, everything you touch turns into gold. I said, you should have seen me 10 years ago when everything I touch turns into shit. Because I had no skills. Everything works now because I have the skill sets, I have the mindset that could make it work. I could be successful in different industries because I mastered the skills of business. I'm suggesting that you need to master the skills of business. It doesn't have to be from me, it could be from somebody else, but you need to work on that if you want to experience the freedom, the control, that personal satisfaction that you want. You can't get there unless you work on the skills. I can present if I don't work on my public speaking skills. You follow me, yes? That's the key. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. I love this quote by Robert Collier. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. I would also argue that failure is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. No business fails overnight. It's always cumulatively a lot of bad decisions to a point where it cannot be saved, and then it's too late. And sometimes people come to me and say, it's too late. It's too late, I can't help you, it's too late. So working on not just in your business. So now fully understand the need to have a clear vision. You now fully understand the need for structure, organization, and clearly defined position so that you can, and everyone else are aware of their responsibilities. So you now also fully understand the need to have systems to support everyone in delivering consistent and standards across every facet of the business. So that's what we've learned today. I want to leave you with one thought. You can manage people. I've said this. You can't even manage yourself to do the things that you want. Example, get fit, lose weight, stop smoking. So what hope do you have of getting other people to do what you want? You can't manage people. Don't focus on that. Focus on manage time, space, and systems. Those things you have control. Time, space, and systems. And then the systems run the business, and the people run the systems. People run the systems. And that's all I got. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, what have you learned from my talk, and how does it apply to you, and how do you take direct action? Comment below and let me know. If any other questions, you can also comment below. And don't forget, click on the subscribe button, turn on notification, and hit the bell. So every single time I upload a new video, you will get notified. If you want to watch my other videos, make sure you can check them out on the left. You can check out all the other videos that I have. We have hundreds of videos on YouTube. You want to expand on a topic? Check it out.